fall friends. That's right, I said fall. I did. I am ready for some nails in fall colors. I hope you are too. Today we're going to be doing I think it's Berry Decadence and Cake Pop. Birthday Candle, not Cake Pop. Oh my gosh. So we are going to be ombreing these colors down the nail. I am starting with the darker color at the back and then the orange toward the front, and you will see why towards the end of the video. I am going to be doing a technique that I have seen online and have not tried yet because I wanted to check it out and see what I thought and if it really did ombre gel polishes better. I do like to use a sponge, whether I am doing this with nail polish or gel polish. I just feel like it gives a smoother transition. Though I will say that oftentimes there it is, the C&D Clear Transparent. If I'm doing them with the gel polish, sometimes gel polish is it's its own animal. It's a little different. So I am going to try this technique. I did decide I kind of liked it. I'm not really sure how it would come off, to be honest, because these are done on sticks, obviously nail sticks. I don't know. Whatever you call them. They're done on a display set, so I don't know how they would soak off. That is my only concern about doing this on a client in the salon. I might try it at some point and report back to you guys what actually happened. Because anytime you're adding acrylic to anything, whether it's a dip or whether it's this where you're using gel polish and trying to blend in ombre, anytime you're activating that acrylic, you're causing basically a layer of acrylic to be applied. So that requires soaking off. I just don't know how much extra effort it'll take to soak it off. So if you know, feel free to comment in the comments below and tell me how long it takes for that if you've done it at the salon. I will say that ultimately I liked this. I'm going to brush them off just to get rid of any excess. I don't want to put acrylic powder into my gel polishes. Sorry, I got sidetracked there. I don't want to get acrylic powder into my gel polishes because that will cause them to harden and get kind of funky. So we don't want that to happen. So you do want to brush them off if you're doing this with your gel polishes. I'm going to layer a couple of layers. They are going to become somewhat transparent. Or they are somewhat transparent. They're not going to become transparent. But I don't want full opacity with these because I do want them to have a little bit of that jelly texture that's very popular right now. We are going to be then stamping on top. So we're going to be using, what was that? Simply Black, Straight Up Black, something like that from Maniology. One of those anyway. And I'm using the Maniology Plate Mother Nature collection. It doesn't actually have a number, I don't believe. This is so much fun, by the way. I really love the way this set came out. So I picked a piece. So one of the things I wanted to show today is how you use a plate like this, right? That has this huge, almost like, I don't know, full picture design on it. How do you go about choosing the bits and pieces? So the idea is that everything on this plate goes together. So you can pick and choose what parts you want to use and not have to use the whole thing. A lot of people are like, how do I use something that's so big that won't fit on a nail? You're not really trying to. What you're trying to do is choose bits and pieces of them, the different designs. You can see there's some snowflakes, there's some spring flowers, there's some butterflies and bunnies. There's also the stag and the fox. I'm going to use the fox and some crows because this is a fall set. But you could do this in a bunch of different ways and different colors, which is great. I'm choosing a silhouette here because I felt like it, to me, very much feels like a fall sunset, these nails do. So I thought that would be a little bit more fun. I am going in and just filling in the design in that one corner because I felt like it needed a little something extra. Then I'm going to pick a couple of different other pieces of the design. We're going to have some falling leaves and some branches and some crows because that's all good stuff for fall. And I do like it a little dark. I'm just saying. Anyway, other things I can tell you about stamping plates, everybody's done a video in the whole wide world at this point that you have to work somewhat quickly. I love Maniology's stamping polishes. I think they're some of the best on the market. I've used a lot of different brands, especially because I'm at the salon. And this is the brand that I feel like does me the best. It dries, but not too quickly. It stays in place. I can use it on regular polish. I can use it on stamping or gel polish. I can use it straight out of the bottle. I can mix it up with other colors. It's very, very versatile. So I like that. And they're not sponsoring this, so it's not like they're telling me to tell you this. Just so you know. Okay, so you just saw me put on some branches with some crows in them. I love that. Love that piece. I will be using that a lot this year, I can tell already. Now I'm going to go in and pick up some ivy. This one is more of a full coverage, so I'm only going to do half the nail because I don't want the nail to turn into like this big black blob because the colors in the back are already fairly dark. So I'm putting it on the tip, and we're just going to be using a section of it to make sort of a French, like an exaggerated French tip. So this one, I should have cleaned up my line a little bit and forgot to do it before I put the top coat on. So it's not as tiny as I would have liked, but that's okay. That was my bad. These are the falling leaves up in the center. So we're going to pull these down and stamp those. So when we're talking about time length, I always tell you guys about the time length, right? For how long it would take to do this design. So this honestly is going to be a shorter time for nail art in regard to that. So you're going to need probably about an extra 15, maybe 20 minutes. So if you are a person like me who can finish a full fill-in and rebalance in about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, you'll have plenty of time if you're scheduling your client for an hour. I usually schedule all my clients for an hour because I never know what they're going to want. But if you're a little bit slower paced, then you definitely want to have a little extra time on that back end. Here's some more of those lovely branches. I love this. I love the stamp plate. It's great. It's very versatile. So we're going to put a few more of those on. So now if you're keeping track, we have 2 that have branches and we have 3 that have designs. That kept the balance of this set while keeping things fairly simple. You can see I'm cleaning in between each one. That is super important to clean it in between each one because you don't want to end up with dirty stamping where it's not crisp and clear because it'll just look muddy on your design. I am taking my tape and just taking off. That's how I get my stamps off, by the way. I don't use any chemicals on my stampers. I just use my tape to pull it off. And if it gets to the point where it's not picking up anymore at all, then I might use a little bit of alcohol just to clean everything excess off. But I really don't, I find that it degrades the stampers if you use too many chemicals on it. Okay, here we go. We are done. That was pretty quick, right? Now I'm taking, I don't know which one it is. It is a Beetles gel polish, glitter polish. Obviously you can see the color. It's beautiful. I love their glitters. They do have a lot of really pretty glitters. And I'm using my finger. I tell you guys this all the time. Don't use your finger, but I will because I do it all the time. I'm kind of, counterproductive that way. So I'm just doing what's called dry brushing onto the nail because I don't want it to be coated in glitter. I just want a little bit of glitter here and there just to pick up a little sparkle. We are going to do these in matte, so it's going to look really interesting when they're done because the glitter shows up, but it's not super sparkly, but it gives it a little depth. It's quite fun. It's a lot of fun. I am going to go back and just do a little bit more dry brushing on some of these other ones once I've gotten rid of a lot of the bulk of the glitter on my brush. You can also wipe the brush off a little bit on a lint-free towel, and that works too. So I'm going to show you. It's A05 from Beetles. I got those as a trial set at one point, and they're not bad. I don't dislike their products. They are, I think, vegan and cruelty-free. And I'm trying to remember, I think they don't have all of the chemicals. Here we go. Check this wild stuff out. I'm in love. Okay. So here we go. I slowed this down a little bit so that it wasn't like crazy fast. So you get a little more of a sense. I'm sorry it's a little blurry. I don't know why it's a little blurry. I got a new lens and I'm not loving the lens. So, but I do love these nails.